even when I was up to no good, I always felt like I just knew that I could always do something else.
How would you describe your sound? Do you think you've kind of made your own thing?
I could be like you. God, that would be a tragedy. It's my job. I feel that the real purpose of being alive is to serve.
Hello and welcome to the Eras podcast, where we get to know the music and moments that have made your favourite artists who they are today. I'm your host, Abbie McCarthy, and in this episode, I sit down with critically acclaimed singer-songwriter Hak Baker. We delve into his difficult past, we talk about his amazing debut album, and we find out what's next for one of the most genuine artists out there. Welcome to the Eras podcast, Hak Baker.
Thanks for having me, Abbie. You all right, love?
My favourite East End geezer in the building. Come on, how are you?
I'm good, actually. Yeah, very well. Yourself?
Yeah, really good. Lots to discuss in terms of new music, but let's take it back right to the beginning. And, you know, it's fair to say you had a bit of an unconventional start getting into music. So let's begin at the kind of genesis of what made you become the artist that we see today. So back to the cell, that moment that changed things forever.
I just always wanted to play guitar, and then the opportunity was given to me in jail, and which I felt was quite fitting, really. Like, I'm not really one for regrets. I don't like have regrets. Like, oh, I was incarcerated. I feel like some lads need that, you know, just to bring them back down to earth a little bit and just figure out what's going on to get that time. You're living outside, and I'm still 100 miles an hour then, but back then I was 200 miles an hour. Do you know what I mean? So I just need that time to relax. And then that opportunity was given. And I even still, upon release, I still didn't even get straight into it, you know. It still took time. You just got to appreciate timing, because timing's perfect. There's nothing you can do about that. So, yeah, eventually the stars aligned, and I got one. The girl I was seeing at the time bought me one. She was inquisitive about what I wanted to actually really do, and she asked me questions. Not enough people ask enough questions. A lot of people tell people. And she actually asked, what do you want to do? And I told her, and then she brought me one. It was funny, actually, half hour. And yeah, and it started from there, really. I just used to I was living on my brother's sofa when I come out of jail. I'd lived there for like 8 years, I think. I wrote probably my best songs ever on that sofa. And I just used to sit there and just twiddle with it, just go on YouTube and stuff and try and figure out what the hell I was doing with this machine.
So could you listen to music in prison? Like, was there like a music library?
Yeah, the library was where you could get music from. So I would, you'd go to the library and pick your album, what you wanted to take. You could take a few CDs a week or a couple CDs a week, I can't remember. Quite an extensive library of albums they had as well, which was amazing. Portland HMP is quite a decent prison, to be fair. So yeah, we used to listen to music all the way on that. I used to get music through other avenues as well.
When there's a will, there's a way, I suppose.
Exactly that. And one of the albums that I got when I was in jail that I used to listen to with my friends when we used to get really high is Kings of Leon, Only by Night. And I had the guitar at that time, and that was probably like a moment in my head really that told me I really want to make music via the guitar at some point. As you listen to that in my cell, and it used to just kind of like set me alight, really. I used to feel really quite free listening to that really loud singing on a Sunday, you know. Music can just transport you places. I felt like I was 17 laying on the flat I was living in where the fucking water from the toilet used to come through the floorboards. But me and the boys we just put towels down and just got on with it. We just, as long as we was together, nothing mattered back then anyway. It was the best time ever of my life.
You had each other.
Just had each other. We still do, most of us still. We don't see each other as much as we'd like to, or imagine that we always would. You know, at that time you felt like the brotherhood was going to last forever and ever and ever and ever, you know. But
you spoke a bit there about the power of music, and I guess playing guitar became, you know, a bit of a lifeline for you. But when was the moment that you started writing lyrics? Was that when you came out that started happening?
I always write lyrics. Every day. So I used to write, even back then when I was young, I used to just write lyrics. In jail, I used to write lyrics. When I come out of jail, I used to write lyrics. So I just always write lyrics. So that wasn't a thing. It was just a time where I got the confidence to think, hold on a minute, I can play this guitar and put my style of words on top of it and do my own thing. I was like, oh wait, I can do that. That's cool. So I just tried it really, and I remember when I first tried it. And as I've said this before. I think a lot of my friends, not my brother, my friends, just thought I was drunk and just was mucking about. But luckily, my mum made me strong enough to all that stuff just goes over my head. I just kind of knew what I wanted to do.
So you've actually known for such a long time, really? In the kind of depths of you, this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah.
Do you think it was just a confidence thing to actually push on to the next stage?
Not even a confidence thing. I think it was it's just what was going on in life, you know? It's not about confidence. I feel like I've always had a confidence, even if it was false confidence, I would always know how to portray that confidence, because that's what you learn to do on the street, you know? You have to put on your cloak and your armour and step out and, you know, defend yourself. So I've always had that. It was just like I had things to do. I had to live. I had to make money. And I'm never going to work for anybody. I ain't had a job. I don't want a job. Do you know what I mean? I don't want someone telling me what to do. I wasn't even asked to be born. So why am I going to be told what to do by someone? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it was just like it just got to a point where I was like, okay, I have this amount of stability. I can actually give this a go. I'm living at my brother's for 30 quid a week.
Good rate, that.
Top, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a good guy, isn't he?
He's a top geezer, do you know what I mean? So, you know, I was like, I can try and give this a go. And it was just like sliding doors, really. It was just like, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay surviving, or are you going to, like, get on with it? So I just chose to get on with it.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did, because your music connects with people in such a huge way. But people will see the stats about, you know, people in prison, especially young people. You come out, you're quite likely to re-offend, aren't you?
I did, I went back.
Yeah, but after that, when the music thing had clicked, do you think just because you were so focused on the music, that kind of gave you the hope and the stability? I
think in this day and age, we've always got to be ready to go to prison, unfortunately, because I just feel like everything's closing in, and even like your free speech or how you want to live your life, it's coming to, like, they're trying to outlaw protesting and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm never gonna, like, be one to not speak my mind or say how I feel or do what I want or, you know, scream from the rooftops about how I feel about how this country is being led or how the world is being led, you know. So I just feel like I don't think that's ever going to be a deterrent, really. Mm-hmm. I feel like for a man to be free, sometimes he has to lose his freedom. So, yeah, it wasn't that, man. It was just like, in my head, I just feel like I don't want to be a statistic. I want to fulfill my life. I feel like I have this unlimited, bountiful energy, so I just feel like I might as well use it for something for the greater good. So it's just about making that decision to do something that you know that you've always secretly wanted to do. So it was just the time, there was just a switch click, just like there's switch clicking in my head, like thinking, we don't have to, so I started lining myself up with alcoholism as much as we used to anymore. Maybe we can relinquish that a bit now as I get older and stuff like that, you know. It's just about timing. As I said, timing's perfect. So when you started to kind of like unlock that songwriter within you, do you feel like you connected better with yourself emotionally? Like the music really helped you? It's a great question. Yeah, definitely. 100%. Like all sides of you then, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah. It's not just like the tougher guy that takes bare energy to be anyway. Yeah, right. Because it's a front, isn't it? At the end of the day, like, I don't want to be that tough. I don't want to look at people in a way. I don't want to, sometimes you do. It's a rough old world you live out there. Me and the boys have been out there since like literally living on our own since we was like 14, 15. That comes with certain, you have to defend yourself. But yeah, I just like after knowing that what I can get through and knowing how strong I am, it's just like, all right, cool. Well, I don't need to walk with that anymore. I can just walk with, just fully myself, and I can be like, hey, what's happening, and embrace people. Doesn't people are wankers, then they're wankers. It doesn't really affect me as long as you don't, push across the line. So, yeah, singing I think it just made me more happy. I got to release a lot of things that I had in the back of my head through words and singing and stuff, and I just saw it just connected with other people that I feel like, been suffering a bit in silence,
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of take that as my job now, which is a bit weird. I actually have a job.
Not a bad one.
It's not a bad one, you know what I mean? So that's my job, really, just to make people feel easy.
You'd had some brushes with music before, though, right? You were obviously a grime MC in B.O.M.B Squad, who I remember seeing on Channel U back in the day.
Yeah.
What do you remember of those days now, looking back?
Again, we were just trying to express ourselves, but it was like the best music genre ever. Like, you could really like go in and be free, and you had to make your style. You had to make the way how you even held the mic and the way how you even moved when you MC. Like, it was so freeing, and that's what was going on when my eyes was first opened to that. I remember my friend told me to come to a youth club, and I saw some pretty iconic in today's eyes, some iconic people in there, but they were just like from in and around my area. And I saw that, what was going on, and my mind was completely blown. So I just went home and just tried to write my first lyrics straight away. I've always had an understanding of rhythm, so I kind of got it. And then my mates helped me. I remember my mate Jermaine was teaching me what like an 8-bar is. I was like, oh, okay, sweet, that's what that is. And then my mate Shay, who lived 5 doors down the line, 5 doors down on my street, had decks, so we used to go in his house and write lyrics in his MC and stuff. So that was just normal. That was normal. It's like... And it would help your popularity scale at that time, which was really great for...
Nice bit of clout.
Nice bit of clout for, the young girls when we were and the young boys. It was great. So, yeah, it was great. It was great time. It's the best time of my life, really. Like being on telly, but in school.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's great.
Yeah, like you say, that where you're from, like East London is where grime started. So you would have seen like the pioneers of that genre coming through, I suppose.
Yeah, like all those people I know, like I've had brushes with, like, from young. I remember Target, if you were talking about he's like from Limehouse, I used to see him all the time. Spyro, I was played on Ty Spyro's show when I was like 14 with like Time. We did like specials for him, like back in the day, me and Trim. So I've done like, so it's all these people. Danny Weed's one of my greatest friends. I've known him for years and years and years. Great guy, so these are all people, that are doing well today, which is great,
And way back when, I read you were a choir boy.
Yeah.
So you've had a real musical education from 8 bars with your mates to the songwriting you do now to the choir, like. Yeah,
the choir really was so important. God bless my mum, because I didn't obviously never want to do it, but she was adamant that was happening.
You will do it.
Yeah. But that's how, because I wasn't taught in instruments and stuff, that's how I really navigated through playing the guitar and stuff. It's just through sounds that I've heard over there and putting things together. So that literally is it's the techniques that I used to sing as well. Yeah, I've always just gone by that and my instinct, really. So that was really, really, really important, even though I didn't like it there.
It all paid off in the end.
All paid off.
Yeah. What's a defining song to you, do you think? Like, what was the first song that you learnt to play on the guitar?
Youth by Daughter.
Oh, I love that song. It's a beauty, isn't it?
Yeah, it just made so much sense to me at that time.
Yeah, that's the kind of song that gets you in the right moment and it gets you sobbing, doesn't it?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah, I think that's got me a couple of times.
It's not afraid to admit it.
No, that's fine.
And I think why myself and so many people connect with you is because you're the real deal, You're undoubtedly one of the most authentic voices in alternative music. There's that real sense of honesty, and that's always been there, even, right from the beginning. Has that always come quite naturally to you in songwriting?
I think that's just come quite naturally to me as a person. And I was always a bit weird, and then the lads a bit more emotional than some of the lads as well. Just things like going to prison and stuff like just makes you solid. You know yourself. You manoeuvre through those wildfires, and you just know that I'm solid. So, as I said, I've always just been a bit different, and you know, you get to an age where you go, oh, I'm proper sweet with this.
Yeah, I like being different.
Yeah, I like being, if I could be like you, God, that would be a tragedy. You know,
That's it though, that real strength comes when you go, no, I'm happy with who I am.
I'm happy with who I am, like, I really am. So it only makes sense that it transverses through my music. I say I'm happy, but sometimes I'm really sad as well, you know. You know, I'm annoyed with who I am and my vices and things that I do over and over again that I know I shouldn't be doing. But at the same time, I'm learning how to say, no, actually, you might fuck up a lot. Not like a lot. But I'm quite sweet with who I am, actually. You're all right, Hak, you know? So, yeah.
What's the most important thing to you in terms of lyrics? I feel like it's representing where you're from.
Yeah, honestly, and just representing where I'm from. There's so much talent and there's so much, you know, intelligence and emotional intelligence and stuff. And, you know, if people could, like, dare to think outside the box, but, you know, you can only be a product of your environment until you want more. But when I wish some of the boys and the girls that kind of wanted a bit more sometimes where I'm from. So I just like to be a reminder, you know, of what working class people can do. Yeah, we don't just have to stick to limitations and we can be like creative phenomenons and just do different things. People don't want to see the same thing all the time. Well, some people do, but like proper people don't. Like, do you know, like, like people want to like new stuff. Like the new stuff, it comes from the bottom, you know, because it starts like quite dark and then it evolves like butterflies, you know, and you get that grit and dirt from the working class. And if you look at that and figure out how to manipulate that and turn it into something lovely, then you're kind of unstoppable. Because it's what I say, like the hardship as a music career, yeah, it's very difficult, but it's not been more difficult than my life. So these things, like, I just laugh at them. I just go, all right, it's all right, just do another gig, innit?
It's got a good attitude though, isn't it? Then nothing can kind of get you down that way.
This stuff, like, and the people that you meet and the people that don't want to rate you, they want to rate other people that are doing the same thing that they can monopolise off, and, you know, then so be it. But, like, have you been to one of their shows? Yeah, but have you been to one of my shows?
So all of your songs are either about you or one of your mates, right?
Yeah.
Do your mates mind that? Are they kind of watching themselves now?
No, they like some lads really appreciate it when I mention them. No, it's just about, yeah, that's what I see, innit? So I just report on it. It's like, without grassing.
Yeah, without grassing. You don't want to be a grass, but through your lens. And that must mean the songwriting process is so cathartic for you. So you're getting a lot of stuff off your chest, and that must mean you get real connections with people. Like the messages you get from your fans, I can imagine, are, you know, really special because they feel really seen.
I even hate that word. I used to say like supporters, because like without them like giving me like the strength to increase my confidence in what I'm doing, I wouldn't be there. So like I call them supporters, and then I guess
the Misfits mob.
They're the Misfits because we don't feel represented. But I just want to represent them, you know. They support me and I support them. I try to talk to everybody. It's tiring sometimes, but I just feel like that's my job. I feel that the real purpose of being alive is to serve. It's not to be glorified. People get that wrong. Like when it comes to music, everyone's like, look at me, I'm sorry, whatever. But it's like, oh no, it should be like, I feel humbled. I've done my job. I've served the people. And that's how I see it.
I get that from your shows. It's all about like unity and love, isn't it? And from coming to your early shows, they had such a good energy, and everyone would end up on the stage with you.
Yeah.
It was like a house party almost, but we're in a venue.
We had to like calm down. People's gear got smashed and things like that. Remember when Ali lost his special hat that he had, and he lost that. Someone probably nicked it and just whatever. So we had to like try and control that a bit. But yeah, everyone just felt elated. So why would I put the brakes on that? You know, I want people to feel wild, man. I love it. Life is about being wild. It's not about being contained and controlled. It's about wildness. It's about euphoria. It's about,
And that's why people come to gigs, right? To just lose themselves in that moment, whether that's an hour, a little bit longer. And coming to your shows, you walk on, you say oi oi, and then I know how it's going to go for the next hour. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
What's been your standout show?
There's been a lot great shows, man, but I always have to go 2018 Bethnal Green Working Man's Club in East London, where I used to go. Like youth club was like 200 yards across the road, and we did 2 nights out there, and it was, they was rammed to the sort of walls, like you couldn't even move, and they was the lads and the ladettes were going wild. That was like the first time where I realised that it was actually really working. That was like 6 years ago. They just they went wild, and it was like my heart was so full. And then after the gig, we just, like a load of us just walked the streets and tried to get in bars for as long as we could. And, just about 50 people just came with us. And that's what it's about, man.
That sense of community, that's amazing, isn't it? And I know recently you've gone into prisons to perform and do workshops for people inside. That obviously means a lot to you, but I can imagine it's like a really rewarding, grounding experience.
Yeah, man. The lads in prison are the people that go, they're the non-conformists, I love the non-conformists. So they just, didn't put their energy in the right place. So if we can help push them to put their energy in the correct places, then the sky's the limit. And I think that's why prisons is a hub of so much creativity, that the most dastardly criminals that think of an array of ways to make money or things like that. But if they're pointing in the right direction, and in order for them to believe that's even possible, they have to have someone that aligns with them to say, no, it's actually possible. And then, so I'm just trying to do my bit there for the lads, because, as I said, they're the geniuses.
Yeah, it's that thing, like you say, though. It's like you've got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, and
you've been where they are.
100.
Doesn't get better than that, does it?
No, and they're just, at a product of environment, again, what they've seen, what they've felt they've had to do to put money on the table. It's hard out there. And then you get used to it, and you don't want to go back to how it was before. So, people don't understand that feeling. It's important for me to do things like that.
I watched the documentary about your visit, and there's a phrase you said in there that I just thought was so powerful. We don't have to be crabs in the bucket, we can be dolphins in the sea.
Yeah.
I loved that.
You don't have to sacrifice someone else to get to the top. You don't have to step on top of someone else. You don't have to rob someone else, take their things, put yourself in a better position. You can be free and find your own path. That's what I mean by that. And it's fun and it's rewarding. Dolphins look like they're having so much fun all the time.
They are. They're living the dream.
They do, man. Yeah.
So what's your long-term ambition with that? Do you want to be like Johnny Cash doing massive shows in prisons?
Yep, that's it. Exactly what I want to do. I want to sing in all the prisons up and down the country and just ignite them, I would love to. That's the whole reason why I started doing it, really. That's my plan. Well, it will happen soon enough anyway. Yeah.
Of course it will, absolutely. Let's talk about your music. You've got a new song out now called Taskmaster with the one and only Toddla T. That's a big link up, that.
Yeah, we did that tune time ago, We did that tune about 2 years ago, just figuring out the right place to put it in. We've always kept in contact with each other. He's a gentleman. It just felt like it was the right time after the album, to put that out. And yeah, it's doing really well, especially on radio as well. So yeah, pick up Toddla, and I'm really happy with it. I mean, the messages ain't changed, So just happy that I was able to do that with an icon like himself.
Your amazing debut album.
Yeah.
World's End FM. Bit of a concept album based around an imaginary pirate radio station.
Yeah.
What would you say are the themes running through it?
Like love, like life on the edge, obviously potentially the end of the world, but everyone, I guess, kind of feels like we're on the brink of some kind of international destruction. So I just wanted to play with that as well. Classism, also silver linings, I think, as well. Like, even in the face of adversity, there's always like something around the corner that can just give you some hope, you know, so like not giving up.
How did you find the process of writing an album? Obviously, we've heard EPs and stuff from you in the past, but is it slightly different? Did you find it tricky at all?
No, I didn't find it tricky. Just got to come to terms with, all right, you're creating, this is what you're going to make, and then, you know, a bit of tunnel vision, a bit of order, which I find difficult. But yeah, you just get to it. Just get to it. It's still episodes of catharsis anyway. Yeah, just get to it. Get the job done. My slogan is always, get the job done. Just get the job done. I don't want to hear about anything else. Just get the job done.
Do you get like that when you're in the kind of music making process? You're just like so like focused on it.
Probably the only thing I can focus on. Everything else, I'm just like, yeah, I'm trying to do a million things at once. But
Yeah.
I can focus just quite easily on music.
My favourite track is Doolally, just because the way it paints a picture, it's just so good. It's a proper messy London night out.
Yeah.
How did you write this one? Is it almost like freestyling sort of thing?
Yeah, you just write. You don't think. You just let it go, man. You just, when you got that connection, you just let it go.
So you're almost like imagining you're talking to your mates about the night out, and that's sort of how it happens, or?
No, it's kind of like reciting nights out in your head and just little bits of what happened, just making it kind of rhyme a little bit. And yeah, that's my skill though, isn't it? So.
And I love the way the album's like crafted. The interludes are great, like snippets of kind of like intimate phone calls. How did you go about choosing them and sort of where to put them?
Just listen to yourself, innit? My brain would say, do this, and I go, oh, that makes sense. And then, yeah, it will happen. I trust myself when it comes to those things. If it comes through then it must be right. Mm-hmm. So, and so many things are going on in my life. I might be able to just scroll through my phone and find a voice note, whack that in there. And if not, like, my friends and family were willing to help me create what I want to create. So I felt this is what I wanted to do. I just asked people, and everyone was very receptive. Just couldn't wait to get in. So yeah.
It's people's dream, isn't it, to be on an interlude on an album?
Yeah, it's old school, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm waiting for my call-up, Hak. Come on, next time, will ya? One of the most important songs on the record is Windrush Baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us all about making this one.
I just had the phrase Windrush Baby, and I wrote it in my phone when I was driving. I think I remember I was driving. I was Windrush Baby, so I write that down. And then I was at home one day. I think I was just playing those chords. I thought, oh, I like them. And I just went into the studio with Karma Kid, started playing the chords. He was like, oh, I like them. I was like, oh, lovely. Let's put them in. And then I scrolled through my phone, saw that phrase, and I thought, oh, that fits. And then that was it. Yeah, then the brain just unpacks itself, and then that's it. It's really it's not like, I just think my brain, because all the stuff about the Windrush generation being sent to homes that, their papers being denied. So obviously I digested that, and I was obviously appalled. I'm not surprised. So that was just probably floating about in the subconscious somewhere. It was like, go on. I was like, all right, cool.
Is your mum proud of that one? So her story and her parents' story as well.
Yeah. My mum, she was a bit tentative. She's like, I can't say that. Like, you put it on a song. I didn't tell her. I just said, Mum, what do you think of this? And she just went and goes on a tangent as she always does my whole life. And and I said, all right, yeah, cheers, Mum. And then I sent her the song. She's like, yeah, can't do that, man. I can't. And I was like, it's fine, Mum, don't worry. She said, me, I social worker, them can't, and then blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is fine, Mum, don't worry.
Do you think your mum is really proud of what you've achieved with music?
Yeah, no, she thought I was going to be dead or something, so she still worries about me now, so she's just happy I'm in one piece, really. So, and I think any day, every year that goes past when I'm still here, she's happy.
Do you think you'd have known when you were like a little Hak Baker growing up that you'd have achieved everything that you have now?
Yeah.
You had that kind of confidence inside you?
Yeah, my mum gave it to me. My mum always told me that you're destined to do things. Because she had a crash when I was in her belly in Jamaica. She thought she could have a miscarriage, and it didn't happen. So she flew back home to England just to make sure the pregnancy. I was going to be born in Jamaica. I was kind of gutted that I wasn't, but like, then like she flew back just to make sure that, you know, obviously the healthcare system's better over here. And the pregnancy was like swell. So she always told me I'm here for a reason, and she just educated me. And I never felt. I did, like, obviously, like you do at some points, but I didn't feel like I couldn't achieve anything. I always knew, even when I was up to no good, I always felt like I just knew that I could always do something else. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My friends as well would say, especially like my friends, like Leon, Taylor, Charlie, Jermaine, Greg, obviously my brother especially, they would always say little weird things to me sometimes, say, you can do, or you're different, or da-da-da-da. Yeah, they always did. My friend Leon booked me studios when he was just like, you need to go to the studio, so I've just booked you on. Like, so back in the day, about 10 years ago, things like that, you know, so I heard them as well.
Have you paid them back in pints?
Oh, yeah.
Plenty, I'm sure. Come on. What you had to do. And Jack from your live band, you met in prison, right?
Yeah.
So have you always kind of kept your circle close?
Yeah, Jack. That was Jack as well. Jack, he really made sure that we met when we came out, and and then we met, and we still had the same like friendship and enthusiasm and enjoying life and trying to be happy. Because he's had it hard, man. So I guess we just kind of met. It's like we was always supposed to meet. When we first met and started mobbing about, well, you've probably seen us together. We was wild, like, so we've calmed down a little bit now, but it was just like two fireballs, just like,
yeah.
It was wild. Like, we used to get in trouble all the time, but never too much trouble. But it's just amazing. He's a great aspiring actor as well, so it's amazing to see him come forth. And like he's literally, though he doesn't play an instrument, he's completely in the band. Like, the show's not the same without him. So I love Jack. So big him up, man.
So even as you've had all this success, the fact that, you know, your friendship group has stayed the same, is that what's kept you really grounded?
Yeah.
The same Hak.
Yeah, my mates will tell me as well, like, Taylor always told me, like, you are taking a piss. She's like, you think you can just get pissed for 3 or 4 days like this? You're taking a piss, like, you need to stop.
Put you in your place, yeah.
Yeah, Taylor, my friend Taylor always will put me in my place. My brother will put me in my place, you know.
So your friendship circle's close. Your creative circle's been kept fairly close as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Ali Bla Bla, obviously you worked with on the album, who you've worked with right since the beginning. Has he been pretty crucial to you?
Ali's been very crucial because, like, he's when I first brought my guitar language to, you know, and he understood immediately, like, and he kind of got rid of any fears that I had about, like, you know, I was just used to being like rapping or MCing or whatever, and he was like, no, you can be even more open if you wish, you know, you want to. Like, so do you want to be an artist or just want to be a rapper? I remember my friend Leon told me, that was the exact words he said to me when we was making, I think, 7 a.m. He's like, do you want to be a rapper or do you want to be an artist? And it's like, sing, do whatever, do what you're trying to do. You know, Ali taught me, like, unlimited lessons. He just let me know that what I was doing was working. Quite tough as well, because I've always, like, half looked up to him. I lived with him at one point when I was like 14, 15. He's always been there for me when I was young as well. So, yeah, definitely, he gave me a lot of time, and we, like, made this sound and give me that confidence, you know. So, you know, I don't get to work with him as much as I'd like to anymore. Which is sad, but, you know, I've got other people that's helped, especially on the album, like Karma Kid. He was amazing and worked all the time, just helping me create stuff. He was great. It's just like the same people, really, like him, Ali, Karma Kid, Shrink. There's a guy called Craigie Dodds who I work with a lot, who's done some great stuff. He works with like Yasmin Lacey's and Aloia, some great people.
He worked with Dan Carey as well, right?
I was just about to go to him,
yeah, he's like such a respected producer. Did you like kind of connect with him straight away?
Immediately. He's like the man, like he's done like dub music with like King Tubby and shit. Like you have to, like when he told me that and I see the big King Tubby post on it as well, I was like, hold on a minute.
This is my guy.
This is my guy. Like, and we've like had a few sessions where it's like, he's on one, yeah. And but I just want to, I think we're trying to figure out how we can maximise some good time with each other and make something substantial with each other. Because like, yeah, he's the man. He's got like tiger energy. Like he's an elderly gentleman, but you would not think so when you see him outside in the pub or in the festival. He's really outside. So yeah, he's a great guy, great man.
Because you guys made Telephones for Eyes together, and that track's like got this proper anxious energy to it to sort of show how we rely on our phones. It's quite punk as well. Like I feel like the album just shows off so many different sides to you. I think that's what's always been great about you, is it kind of hard to define and pin down genre-wise. How would you describe your sound? Do you think you've kind of made your own thing?
Yeah, well, I just don't really feel to, at this moment, I want to define it at all. I just want to just talk, it's just truthful music, really, and I'll just use whatever, I'll just go in whatever avenue that I feel to do at the time, really. And I think as long as it's, you know, relaying the times, and that's what folk artists do. They talk about their times. That's why we just leave the whole thing as G-folk. That's what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as long as it's truthful, you're happy with it. I feel like lots of people have discovered you through the debut body of work, but also potentially from when you were supporting Mike Skinner or Little Simz as well. I mean, both of those tours must have been incredible, because they're like two of the best performers to do it for me.
Yeah, them even like, no, really bust me was Plan B. Really but from him. That was like the first time we played in like O2 caps, like 5,000 people and stuff. Like he was the first guy that got to big him up really from back in the day. Simz as well, bringing us on that tour was, you know, opened us to another younger crowd, you know, a more information searching crowd as well. They're quite young and trying to figure out who they are, so that was good to report to them. Yeah, we've had some good shows. You know, Libertines as well was really good. Pete, that's honestly like my guy. Like he comes, like I speak to him if I need him. Like he came out for Glastonbury for me. He's the man.
Which was chaos in the best possible way.
Yeah. And we got some more surprises as well with Pete. So he's definitely he's the general, Pete. I won't have no bad words about Pete.
So he's a good person just to like chat to and check in with.
Yeah. He's the first time I met him in Camden in the gig that when he just first came back out, and they asked me to support just after lockdown. I just thought this is wild. And I met him in this small room, and he's a towering figure. And he went, cool, you got some demons in you. That was the first word that's the first word he went and said to me. And I was like, blimey. And I was like, how do you know? And he went, I can just tell.
I can smell it, I know it. He's been there, hasn't he?
He's a great guy, man. So smart. So smart.
Yeah, it must be nice having somebody like that just in your phone books. If you need them for real talk, he can do that. Yeah, no, he's
the man. He's the man, Pete.
So if we look into the future era of Hak Baker, what does it look like?
I just want to just do like more interactions with people on the street, really, and that's what matters to me. That's where life is. So just do some more stuff where we can like really help change people's thought patterns, really. More shows as well. I'd play every day if I could. My agent has an issue with how much I want to play, and even that slave, our last meeting that we had, she's just like, you need to stop.
You're like, you sure I could do more?
Basically, like, yeah. All I want to do is serve. You know, I'm not too good at serving myself, so at least I should be good at serving other people. Yeah, hopefully one day someone will help me learn how to be nice to myself more.
Is that something you feel like you need to learn in the future? Still just being kinder to yourself, really?
Yeah.
You're just a big critic?
Big critic on myself and my behaviours and, what I run, the responsibility that I lack or run from, But I'm good at, making other people feel happy, even if it's temporarily. I'm a fleeting gentleman. So, yeah, just a bit more time for myself is what I want.
We're moving into the next era of Hak Baker, a body of work about to drop. And is this an EP, an album?
It's an EP.
But you've gone in.
Yeah. I don't like to do things by half. And I'm old school, innit? An album, 14, 15, 16 tracks, that's where I come from, even more. So this ain't an album, it's just an EP. It's just a place in time where I felt I just want to cover this. And they're the tracks that came in quick succession. So it's 10 tracks and it's an EP and that's that.
10 tracks, and what are you trying to say in these? Because these are very honest, very visceral. But what's the message?
Well, it's called Nostalgia Death, and I feel like nostalgia can be a friendly thing, but it can also be a place where you keep going back to all the time to try and relive moments of time that you're never going to get again. And I feel like that's a curse for my friends and I, because we had such a wild, amazing childhood that where sometimes we're stuck in it and all we can do is get drunk and report back on those times, trying to think of, remember we did this, remember we did that, remember we did this, remember we did that, and we just use that all the time to reasons to get together when we're together, and we just drink our skulls off. And I just think we should be looking more into the future. So if we can put to bed some of our past, which are definitely doused in trauma, bits of trauma here and there, but allow ourselves to move away from that and just start actually planning the things that we plan from, because we always wanted to be together, as I said before. So if we can plan towards the future and do things together that way, that would be great. So for me, this project is about purging and relinquishing those, not relinquishing connection, but relinquishing the vice connection, always going back there to get drunk to talk about things in the past. We could get together, not get as drunk, and talk about what we're going to do in the future and stuff, and actually stick to it. So for me, it's like death to nostalgia, because it's a drug.
It's addictive, isn't it, to keep going back there, yeah. But this is sort of like an era of healing and growth and pushing on to be the best version of yourself, would you say?
Yeah, definitely, without being cliche, but yeah, best version of myself. I see the best version of myself in my dreams. I've actually seen him. I think he's a bit taller as well. I think he's about 6'1", but yeah, so I just know that I can excel and go further. My auntie told me something. My auntie and Marlene, she's amazing. She's a psychologist, and I've always had a connection with her. We was in the hospital when my gran was there, when my gran was ill, and we was talking. I've always spoke to her. She's always just had this thing where I've always just spoke to her. And she's like, how's music going? It's great, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, do you have a teacher, a guitar teacher? And I was like, no, I'll make it up, Marlene, I don't need a teacher. And she went, you're never too old to sit at someone's feet. And it just literally stopped me. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You can always learn, can't you? Yeah.
From there, I got a guitar teacher who was in the Baby Shambles with Pete, a guy called Patrick Walden, who's just crazy, nutter, but amazing. He teaches me stuff, and yeah, it's just testament to what I was saying before. We can learn stuff and go forward, and even that mentality, I don't need to learn anything. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. But no, we got to move forward. So.
Yeah, so it's like growing as a man and growing as an artist as well. And this is very unusual for a Hak Baker project, because you look down the track list and you're like, quite a few collaborations on there.
Yeah, blimey, yeah. It's weird. Even I'm like, what you done here? Blimey, giving too much away. But there are people that I respect their craft. So, like, I think, got to learn to collaborate, because when you collaborate, you create completely new, fresh things, So it's good to start there in this, like, new version of myself that I'm trying to emit. I think doing the album and getting finally some accolades that I feel are the least that I deserve kind of gives you that new confidence again to shake off all that shit and go again in a completely unknown, unpatterned, unformatted, what's he going to do next? And it is like that when you hear this project. It's like, this doesn't sound like anything again.
So you've made this one quickly and you're releasing it quickly, so that you still feel really, connected to it.
Yeah, I would love to tour it by the end of the year as well, like really in the speed. Yep, that's done now. Next year, next project. How do I feel?
Are you always on to the next thing?
I was listening to the Tef Press yesterday with Craigie, and I was like, all right, cool, what are we going to do next?
What's happening?
What's next? And he just started laughing. So yeah, I have to keep it moving.
Yeah, well, long may it continue. Hak, pleasure to talk to you as always. Thank you so much.
Thanks, easy enough. Cheers.
Hey! Thank you to the lovely Hak Baker for his time today. Excited for you all to hear that brand new EP of his. We're building a great community of music fans here on the Eras podcast, so feel free to follow us on socials and let us know who you'd like us to chat to next. This has been a Good Karma production, recorded at Metropolis Studios. I'll speak to you soon. Bye!